Hi friends, hope you're all well and thank you for joining me. It's been a little bit of a while, hasn't it? And I've been called to resume where I stopped. I have been a bit busy, and it's interesting that even at this stage I've had to stop and look at things that have been revealed. You would think that I'm 59, right? And you would have thought at this stage in someone's life you would have learnt everything that you probably should have, right? But that's not actually the case. And also depending on also depending on that's the cows outside. They sound like me this morning. It also depends on the amount of, I'm going to say it, trauma to the body that has not been revealed to you until it's ready to be revealed. That could be tiny little things and massive big things. The cows are just, they've stopped outside. Ooh, that's how she sounds a bit desperate. She's calling her herd. Anyway, so, and it can be massive things and anything in between. So I've had to stop and look at what's come up, and you think, well, why has it come up now? But we've had a lot of planetary energy, and I'm an astrologer, so it does affect everybody, but most people are not aware of it. Astrology is like your weekly horoscope. You know, you're going to meet your love of your life every week. I mean, that's not how it is. That's not what horoscopes, or I'm not going to say horoscopes, what astrology is about. Astrology tells you all about where you came from, past energies that you bring forward into this life, and what your mission in this life should be, and what is predetermined for you, and the lessons that you need to learn. It even aligns you with what you should be focusing on in your life to grow to your optimum. That includes your job, your career, your finances, your everything. So I think it's time that people start to look at astrology and proper astrology in the correct way, and utilizing it to guide them towards their optimum life. Having that said, a whole host of things opened up because the consciousness obviously thought that I could now deal with it. I sound a bit like a frog today, but that's okay. I had, and I'll tell you why, And it's interesting how the body works. I went to a meeting yesterday and I put on some makeup. Not very much. I had some eyeliner and some mascara. And the last couple of times I did that and I took it off, and I take it off with coconut oil, which is amazing, right? But the next day I look like a raccoon, because there is obviously, and hence you should probably buy organic makeup from now on, note to self. It's obviously toxins in the makeup, heaven forbid, right? There's toxins everywhere. But this morning, again, I have black rings under my eyes, so I've tried to make it better for you, for the video, right? But it also affects your sinuses. So even though I, like a true Vedic believer, or Ayurveda believer, I flush my sinuses every morning and every afternoon. And I woke up this morning completely clogged up. Why? Because of the makeup. You know, it's awful. So anyway, you guys just have to deal with it. I might take a sip of my coffee. That probably makes it a little better. But I am going to just sound a bit like a frog, so you have to excuse me. So, a whole host of things opened up for me. So I had to stop and assess and reassess and see where that actually led to. And I'm very grateful for that, because even last night I asked the consciousness, because it does listen to you, that I really, really wanted to find the deepest trauma of all of it. And I'm still processing this, because I had massive dreams last night. And I'm not going to reveal what they were, but they were traumatic, and they gave me insight to what this trauma is. And so I'm very grateful. So that's the long story of having to stop these videos and the communication with you guys, because I needed some time, and we should all set, and I put up a boundary, I'm going to say it, I put up a boundary because I needed to say to myself, because I wanted to do the videos and I wanted to chat and keep that connection with you guys, but I said, no, I'm going to just focus on this. So that's why the videos have stopped for quite some time. And I'm going to say this, whatever came up, forwarded a thought process of reevaluating and pushing me off track for a bit. And I thought, man, maybe I'm not on the right track. But now that I have processed this, it's pushed me back. It's very, very interesting that how it did that. And I'm going to say this, I sold something to a fellow yesterday. It was a lovely fellow. And they say that, you know, we cross each other's path for a reason. And that reason was very obvious to me. I'm sure he got something out of our connection as well. But he said things that confirmed to me that I needed to go back to my original plan, which is to run the Emerald Centre, which includes astrology reading, integrative, you call it counselling or coaching, for people to take in their whole body, mind, emotions, to incorporate everything, because you have to look at everything to understand the true depth of that person. You can't just take one thing, because it doesn't work like that. The body doesn't display it like that. And so it was so amazingly interesting yesterday when I met this fellow. And I'm so grateful because I have the ability to create safe spaces for people to share their trauma and experiences. And so that is now what I'm gonna focus on. I still have to work, we all do, right, for the minute, but I'm not going to deviate and think that I'm on the wrong path as such. So, having said that, I've also been very busy, and this is a video. Really, I was going to do this video because I wanted to introduce something to you. And I'm going to put my glasses on because I want to read something as well. So, I've been busy writing a book. It's very tiny. And it's a starter book for people who feel disempowered to create positive change in their life, and don't feel that they know where to start. They don't feel that they're not good enough to do something else. And sometimes we have to be so incredibly strong to pull ourselves out of trauma and fear-based situations to say, I have to put up my boundaries here because my personal safety is at jeopardy. And so that requires massive and sustainable change. And it is amazing to understand how many people suffer continuously because they are not strong enough within themselves to think that they have the power to change their life, to change their situation, to change their thought process, to change anything about themselves, right? So the power of thought to create change. Because nothing, absolutely nothing can be manifested without a thought. You always have to have a thought about something. Doesn't matter what it is. A thought creates a thinking pattern. You know, I manifested a coffee. It's as simple as that. We manifest all of our existence. I manifested where I live. I manifested all of my life. It doesn't matter what it is. Everything in my life I have manifested. So, you know, manifestation gurus out there, you know, they make you feel that there's a trick to this. Oh, there's no trick. There's no trick. The trick is to understand that you're manifesting every minute of the day. Whatever, and I'm going to burst a bubble, right? Whatever the energy you put out, if you have low vibrational energy, you're going to manifest low vibrational people. You're going to manifest low vibrational situations. You're going to manifest low vibrational stuff. No money, idiots into your life, awful situations that you don't want. In comparison to feeling beautiful, feeling empowered, feeling on top of the world, feeling that you are in control. Hence the powers, the pretend powers all over the world that wants to control the masses, wants you to be low vibrational, because if you're high vibrational, they cannot control you. Stop eating shit, because if you eat shit, low vibrations will happen for you. So excuse the noise, because there's a big dozer coming past my house. And he's doing a wonderful, scary job of what he's doing. He's driving his dozer on a hill like that. So bear with the squeaking and the noise. I live up in the mountains, so that's what we get, yeah? So the higher your vibration can be, the more control that you know you have of your life. So, going back to this little book, I have evolved immensely from this, and I'm working on another one as we speak. I have published this on Amazon, and it is available for you to purchase on Amazon. And I put a little tag here. It's not actually part of the book. But I think because, you know, if you don't promote it to no end, it's going to be, Amazon is just it's going to disappear in Amazon, right? And so if you put in the whole title and my name, then you will find it. Otherwise you probably won't, right? Because it's new. And so it is a lovely little starter book that will have helped already, and I've had feedback from quite a few people, and it has, what did they say? They said it opened their eyes to what's possible. And that is an amazing feedback for me, because that is really all I wanted this book to do. Because people who are unaware of what the process should be with in relation to thought processes and how you can actually rewire your thinking patterns to create whatever you like. You're not bound by anything. You have the power to do whatever you like, but you have to understand the process to do that. So I want to read. I want to read a little bit. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee because I'm still a frog. And I know, coffee dehydrates you, but I also have a bottle of water here somewhere. Okay. The power of thought to create change. And this is chapter 7. The ideal you. I'm going to start again. The ideal you seek and hope to attain cannot manifest by itself. It can only be manifested when you have imagined that you already are that ideal. So what does that mean? It meant for me this morning that I had a thought of having a coffee, and then I could taste the coffee. I put energy into that coffee. I got the milk out, I got the glass out, and I put energy into the ideal of having a coffee. So I manifested it. Simple as that. Therefore, you must merge yourself to your new ideal. That's exactly what I did. And completely abandon the old self. I'm going to take the coffee. I abandoned the person who didn't have a coffee. So I manifested the coffee. This goes for absolutely everything. And I'm taking the silly comparison of a coffee. But if I'm going to take a role of a thought process as far as a job, then if I'm going to think about becoming an engineer, I have to start thinking like an engineer. I have to pretend I'm an engineer to be able to merge myself into that role. It's the same with changing your behavior. If you want to go from being absolutely messy, having a messy house, being disorganized, you have to start to think organization. You have to start to think clarity. You have to start to think clean. And every morning you have to start to merge yourself away from the messiness into the order that is required to be organized. You can manifest anything, absolutely anything, but you have to understand the absolute basics. And you go, well, that's what? And if you don't understand the basics, and it has to do with the depth of feeling and the thought process that goes into it, and you have to recognize it and acknowledge it. Basic, I know, but if you don't do it correctly, it's not going to be sustainable, right? So therefore, you must merge yourself to your new ideal and completely abandon the old self. This is the only way in which you can become one with the new version of yourself. You must assume the feeling, not the thought process, the thinking, not the thinking, the feeling of the wishful. This is what I wish for, already being fulfilled. I wish I can taste the coffee. I wish I had a coffee. Therefore, you go and get one. You must assume the feeling of wishful already being fulfilled until all your senses perceive this new ideal as your new reality. In other words, you have to create a pattern, a thought and thinking pattern to establish your new reality. There's no other way. It doesn't matter what it is. I don't care what people say. You can manifest by writing down, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire, I'm a millionaire. But if you don't believe it, and get ready for this, if you don't believe deep down that you are a millionaire, because you know your bank account says $5, right? You are going to, what are you going to manifest? You're not going to manifest $1 million. You're just not. Because whichever feeling is the strongest within your body, that is what you're going to manifest. So you're going to manifest more $5. Sorry, that is what you're going to do. Because if you don't believe that you're a millionaire, you're not going to be one. If you believe deep down in your soul, why am I saying this? I'm not a millionaire. I've got $5 in my account, right? If you know that, then that's your belief, because you know it. And so you're going to manifest more of your $5. How to get around this is not be so specific. Which is the opposite of manifestation gurus' teachings. I'm sure they mean well, but they're only telling you part of the truth. And the truth is, the subconscious will follow what you believe, not what you write down. You have to believe it. And so how to get around it is to pick another word. Don't say I'm a millionaire, because you know that you're not. Say a simple word like wealth. Feel wealth. What does wealth represent for you? Wealth. When I say out loud, wealth, I'm wealthy. Wealth to me is freedom. Money to me is freedom to do whatever I like, whenever I like. Money to me represents freedom. wealth, when you feel wealthy, try it. If you say wealth, what does that feel like to you? And that is, if you do that and exchange the word millionaire to the word wealth, then you can feel the wealth, whatever wealth that, what it means for you, and hold that feeling, because whatever you feel, you start to believe. And so the subconscious have no choice but to bring forward that feeling and manifest the feeling in material things, material, situational things into your life. I'm going to stop there. And I'm very grateful to be back here and speaking to you guys again. And promotional plug, check it out. It's not expensive at all for what it is, but it's a starter book, and it is a valuable piece to your wisdom portfolio. And I thank you very much for coming back and sharing your time with me. And I'm also working on my website, and it is theemeraldcentre.org. So it is going to be, and I'm working on the services of astrology, readings, career, counselling, and path alignment, and self-realization, coaching, guidance, counselling, whatever you like to call it for you. And I am also going to do astrology readings, birth charts, because it is so incredibly important to understand who you are before you do anything else. And also, I'm working on an app. I'm not going to say any more than that just yet. And I'm going to, you will find me on Fund Me website shortly, because this is going to be a very intricate pioneering project that I'm entering into. So I'm very I shouldn't say I am excited, but it's it's like a calling that I need to do this, and I was always meant to do that. So it's very deep for me. So I am open for bookings and I mainly do Zoom counselling sessions or coaching sessions, but I am also happy to do face-to-face, and and chat over a coffee at my place or outside somewhere convenient. And so all my details are in the description box below, and check it out. The website is nowhere near finished, but it is what it is, and so I've had to take a break to realign, and so I thank you very much for you guys that's come back and watching me today and sharing your valuable time here in this space. So reach out and have a chat and see if my services can help you with what you're going through at the moment, or if you need any sort of guidance at all. So I'm going to leave it there, and I hope you have a wonderful day, and keep in touch. Talk to you soon. Bye.